Libyan Serraj-Haftar unity government need to modernize their army. After the announcement of a ceasefire by PM Serraj and H-List, Libya must immediately establish a unity government. Libya needs military modernization to be stronger and avoid foreign interventions that disturb security stability in the bright future of Libya. Libya must have a strong navy that can match Egypt and Algeria with blue navy capabilities with more helicopter carriers and submarines. The Libyan Air Force also needs to be strengthened with the latest generation of fighter planes, strong air defenses and capabilities in space exploration. Libyan Army modernization. A major security challenge confronting Libya and the international community is the threat posed by the proliferation of arms and related material, and its potential impact on regional and international peace and security. Of particular concern are existing and newly discovered stockpiles of chemical weapons and man-portable surface-to-air missiles, known as man-portable air defense systems. Libya had accumulated the largest known stockpile of man-portable defense systems outside those countries that produce such systems. Although thousands were destroyed during the 7-month NATO operations, there were concerns about the looting and likely proliferation of these portable defense systems, as well as munitions and mines, and about the potential risk to local and regional stability. Collaboration between the Ministry of Defense and international partners has led to the dismantling of large numbers of man-portable defense system sites across the country, particularly in the West. However, there were hundreds more suspected sites that remain to be inspected as of late 2011. The adoption of a comprehensive two-way arms embargo in 2011 notwithstanding, arms have been illicitly transferred to and from Libya on a regular basis. During the revolution, intensive arms trafficking into Libya was recorded, followed in the aftermath by the proliferation of materiel from Libya throughout the region and the consolidation of stockpiles by Libyan militias with the support of patrons within government institutions. The September 2011 kidnapping of Army commander of the 1st Infantry Brigade in Benghazi Colonel Hamd Belker by armed groups was said to have had to do with differences over projects to buy wheeled armored vehicles among field commanders. The Libyan Defense Ministry was going on with contacts on projects to buy new armored vehicles or rehabilitate the existing armored vehicles. Contacts underway with Russia and Ukraine and Libyan plan to buy US-made mine-resistant ambush-protected, MRAP, vehicles. By May 2012 the Libyan Defense Ministry was said to be holding contacts with each of Russia and Ukraine to buy wheeled and tracked armored personnel carriers, APCs, for the Libyan armed forces. In August 2012, the United Arab Emirates approved the export to Tripoli of armored personnel carriers produced by Strike Group, listing the Libyan Ministry of Interior as the end user. Since the revolution, the United Arab Emirates provided political and military support to Zintani groups. In 2013, the Sawa IQ Brigade from Zintan, led by Ahmad Trabolsi, received materiel, including Nimr armored personnel carriers, ARM-9F assault rifles and uniforms. By the end of August 2012 the Libyan military authorities decided to move the artillery depot from the Souk El Ahad military base in Tarhouna to a secured undisclosed area. This decision was taken after a series of skirmishes that happened around the base between rival armed groups fighting in order to take over the depot and supply the illegal arms market. Equipment moved included Libyan Army 2 S1 Gvozdika and a Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series technical armed with a Zu-23-2, a handful of Pomaria SPGs, 152mm SPGH Dana, RM70 MRL, M46 130mm guns, BM11 mounted on Isuzu TW truck, 1 V13 artillery observation vehicles, a Scud BMAS 543, 9P117, launcher, a number of BM21 MRLs and an MTLB. Italy announced on February 6, 2013 giving Libya 20 Puma AFVs during a press conference held by the Libyan and Italian defense minister. The new Libyan Army up-armored NIMR-2 arrived in Libya on January 30, 2013 and were featured a presentation parade in Tripoli, Libya on February 9, 2013. Graduation day at the 204 Tank Battalion in late April 2013 featured Libyan Army vehicles, including 3 T-72s, 3 T-55s, a 9P-122 Malyutka, 3 BMP-1s, an M113, an M106 with 90mm DEFA D921 gun H90 turret which previously equipped a Cascavel 2 vehicle, an M106 with BPU-1 turret which previously equipped a BTR-60PB vehicle, BTR-60PBS, and a Sapphire light utility vehicle leading 3 BRDM-2s of Katiba 204. In March 2013 the command of the recently established Protection and Defense Forces, PDF, at the Libyan Army was said to have plans to buy 4x four-wheeled armored vehicles. Italy is said to have managed to keep Qatar out of competition on projects to supply the Libyan army with light armored vehicles, LAVs, while the competition continued between both countries on projects to buy armored vehicles in favor of the Libyan Interior Ministry. Libyan PM Ali Zaidan, who paid a visit to Doha, is said to have discussed with Emir Hamad of Qatar the project to set up a Libyan mobile security force to protect the diplomatic and international missions in Libya. In July 2013, Belarus submitted a notification regarding more than 3,000 tons of ammunition for small arms and light weapons and machine guns for the Ministry of Defense, including 10 million rounds of 7.62 x 39 mm ammunition, 15 million rounds of 7.62 x 54 mmR ammunition, 7.2 million rounds of 12.7 x 108 mm ammunition, 4.25 million rounds of 14.5 x 114 mm ammunition and 3 million rounds of 23 mm ammunition. The end-user certificate was signed by Khalid Al-Sharif and the deal was brokered by Slobodan Tizik through Charso Limited. Parts of the materiel notified by Belarus have not only been diverted upon arrival at Tripoli International Airport by brigades controlling it, but some of the deliveries appear to have been made directly to autonomous armed groups. On September 29, 2013, the Libyan army took official delivery of 10 more 9P-157-2 Chrysanthema S vehicles. The Libyan Air Defense Battalion 503 brought back life to its former M53/59 Praga PLDV KVZ. 5359ths, Jesterka self-propelled anti-aircraft vehicle unarmed. The Libyan Mobile National Force has a fleet of dozens of Toyota Land Cruiser HZJ75 and HZJ79 technicals, some in a camouflage paint scheme, and others plain 10, armed with ZPU-1, ZPU-2 and ZPU-4, or M40 106mm recoilless rifle. The Libyan Mobile National Force also have Bravia Chimites armed with an ATGM turret, probably 9 M113 Concours or an MRL, Toyota Tundra with ZPU-2, and Jeep TJL with M40 106mm recoilless rifle. Libyan Air Defense Forces Toyota Land Cruiser HZJ79 Technical are armed with Strelets Igla S-man pads. Since the launch of Operation Kuramah and Operation Fajr in 2014, the resumption of serious fighting in various parts of the country and the rise of ISIL, there has been a clear increase in demand for materiel in Libya and a revival of external support. Trafficking networks, including Libyan nationals and foreign brokering companies, are actively seeking to secure arms deals on behalf of various state and non-state parties. The proliferation of arms and ammunition from Libya continued, fueling insecurity in the immediate region. Following the acute deterioration of the security situation in mid-2014, the Security Council strengthened the arms embargo by replacing the notification procedure with an exemption procedure for transfers of lethal equipment to the government. See Resolution 2174, 2014. On March 4, 2015, Libya's UN ambassador Ibrahim Dabishi asked the Security Council to lift the arms embargo imposed against the country in 2011. Libya requested the approval of the UN Security Council for an exemption to the delivery of weapons, including 150 tanks, 150 personnel carriers mounted with machine guns, 10,000 automatic grenade launchers, and 1,000 sniper rifles along with ammunition and mortar shells. Spain asked that the request be put on hold. Britain, France, Chile, Lithuania, New Zealand, and the United States backed the request. The request was put on hold. In 2015, the UN panel was provided with an end-user certificate from the Ministry of Defense of the National Salvation Government, which mentioned the Prime Minister of the National Salvation Government, Khalifa Haftar, for a significant quantity of small arms, light weapons, and related ammunition. According to the document, the ammunition was to be supplied by a company based in Turkey. The panel contacted Turkey, which responded that the certificate was questionable and that it had contacted the representative of the company. The representative had explained that some individuals, who had introduced themselves as representatives of the Libyan government, had approached his company to propose deals in Libya. Long way to build powerful Libyan army. The Libyan National Army was founded in 2011 by the National Transitional Council, after forces aligned to it defeated the previous Libyan army and overthrew Muammar Gaddafi's regime. Supply depots and bases having been damaged during the civil war, the new army is faced with the challenge of having to rebuild much of the country's military infrastructure. Youssef Mangoush was named as its first chief of staff on January 2, 2012, and the force saw its first major deployment on February 23, when it was deployed to Kufra to intervene in a tribal conflict. In November 2011, the National Transitional Council began the difficult process of restructuring the army, with military personnel who defected from the Gaddafi government and former rebel fighters of the National Liberation Army forming the basis of the new Libyan army. Major General Khalifa Belgae CM Haftar was chosen as the overall commander of the new Libyan army due to his military experience and loyalty to the revolution that overthrew Gaddafi. The Libyan army only numbered a few thousand trained soldiers in November 2011, and was rapidly trying to train up new fighters who could keep the peace nationwide and deter rogue militias from acting without NTC orders, and was responsible for brokering a ceasefire on at least one occasion in November between warring militias from Zawiya and Al-Maya. On December 1, 2011, it was reported that the National Liberation Army was to integrate up to 50,000 former rebel fighters into the new Libyan National Army and police forces, with the aid of French training, with long-term aims to integrate as many as 200,000 fighters from the brigades that had fought against Gaddafi during the civil war. In December 2011, Italy agreed to provide training to the Libyan army as it attempted to reorganize in the aftermath of the civil war 27-28. Also in December, large numbers of former rebels were being given jobs in the new army, whilst the government also announced that they would be free to join the special forces and the navy too. According to Osama al-Juwaili, the defense minister, the idea is to inject new blood in the army which was marginalized by the tyrant, Gaddafi. General Youssef Mangoush said on January 5, 2012 that Libya's new army faces major obstacles such as rebuilding bases destroyed during the conflict, as well as disarming militias that were not part of the new army. National Army Commander General Khalifa Haftar said later that it could take between 3 and 5 years for Libya to field a capable enough army to protect its borders. On May 7, 2013, Libya's defense minister Mohammed al-Barghouti resigned due to a crisis caused by gunmen who have besieged 2 ministries for more than a week, a ministry official said. He later withdrew his resignation after Prime Minister Zidane convinced him to stay. Under an agreement reached at the Locarno G8 summit in June 2013, NATO countries the United Kingdom, Italy, Turkey, and the United States undertook to help train up to 15,000 personnel from Libyan National Army units over a 2-year period. They were to take units from newly formed brigades for 10-week stints of intensive infantry training. The 27th Brigade was due to start at Bossingbourne in eastern England in January 2014.